Have you ever drank milk? That we are thinking of is this white liquid substance that's generally cold. Put it in your cereal, put it in your eggs, put it in pretty much everything you bake, you drink it. Good source of calcium, recommend it. Or maybe a warm milk comes to your mind where it's a little bit, on the hotter side. We're going for a nice cozy nap or a sleepy time drink. But do you ever think of lukewarm milk? Okay, well, if you don't drink milk, maybe eat pizza. Now, pizza is delicious no matter what. But if you have pizza and it's cold, it's incredibly delicious. If you have pizza and it's hot, in my opinion, it's even more delicious. If you have pizza lukewarm, it's a little bit weird. The flavors can still be there. The texture's off, though. The flavors aren't fully there. They're not really developed. See, these are problems. Being lukewarm is a problem. See, and the Bible comments on this several times. However, the one that I would like to talk about is in Revelations chapter 3, verses 15 through 16. So, this is a reference of the words of Jesus, and let's read it. I know your works. You are neither cold nor hot. I wish that you were either cold or hot. So because you are lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I am about to spit you out of my mouth. Why would Jesus say this? Well, see, last week, Jesus talked about his people knowing his followers in the way that his followers kind of cared for the poor and disenfranchised. And so we see that kind of coming back into play. They were not lukewarm. And so he kind of calls that that a person with passion is better than nothing. And this is the case for the people. Last week, they were passionate about helping people. It didn't even necessarily have to be for being saved, but they were passionate while the other people did nothing. They've just let the people starve, be naked, not have shelter, all of that stuff. So obviously, this is more of a good example for being hot. His disciples last week about how they were caring for the poor and the people. And so, other than that, let's phrase a question or statement, depending on how you've been presented with this idea. Have you ever heard the phrase or question, find something to believe in? Either a direct statement, a command. Have you tried finding something to believe in? Something like that. It really escalates the need for people, or that escalates the idea that people need to have something to believe in, that people need to have something greater than themselves. And to me, that's kind of what Jesus is talking about. Jesus is kind of saying that a person with no beliefs isn't really understanding. He goes on to talk in Revelations, he goes on to say, for you say, I am rich, I have prospered, and I need nothing. You do not realize that you are wretched, pitiable, poor, blind, and naked. So he comments how these people think that they are just like living it up because, they don't really have any problems with being lukewarm. They don't really have to worry about much. But even when that's happening, really, that's not what's happening at all. They just think that that's happening because they're staying out of trouble, staying out of the way, not getting real passionate about anything. Instead, they're just continuing to go along with their everydays while they are just absolutely miserable in ignorance. And so I feel like a large part of the reason why Jesus wants this passion is because he can work with it, Like if you're really fervent about something, like you saw God's interactions with Saul, who then became Paul, he was really fervent about killing Christians, and then he had that big, huge perspective change when God came to him, and he was like, oh my gosh, I'm on the wrong side. So he decided to start helping the Christians, and I'm sure you've heard a lot about Paul He's a good guy. You should look him up. Acts, great story. But yeah, so like you can work with that, but being lukewarm, they think that they're living it up, and they're not really paying attention. They're not really understanding things, and it just doesn't really leave a lot of room for people to work with. So I think Jesus is definitely saying and reacting here on the being of lukewarm, because basically he's saying that it's not good. You're not going to get anywhere with it. You think that you're doing great, you're not, and you don't really let anybody work with you. Passion is a good thing. I would challenge you to find something to believe in. Good luck and have a good week.